Heyo everyone, Hexi here. Now, I've heard an overabundant number of arguments for game preservation and why we should be able to rip games. However, I don't hear a lot of people talking about the other benefits of emulation, so I just wanted to address a few of those today. Because I'm sure you've noticed in a lot of my own personal videos, I tend to use emulation a lot. So my first argument for emulation is really more just sort of an extension of my own personal ownership over the media that I've purchased over the years. A lot of the games that I showcase are ones that I physically own, with a few exceptions that I'll go over throughout the video. While a lot of times it's more convenient and profitable for the company to keep moving forward and making advancements, some people like me like to enjoy their old games, and it's nice to have a backup in case something were to happen to your physical hardware. And then argument number 2 is that there are a lot of games that only came out in Japan. This is where it comes down to games that I don't own, but the fact is I could never own these games even if I wanted to. Because you see, back in the day, there was no convenient website like eBay or Amazon to just order video games and have them delivered to you. For a young Hexi to experience Princess Crown, I would have had to fly over to Japan myself and pick up the game, and there was no way that was happening at the time. However, nowadays, I can enjoy games like Princess Crown and Frame Gride, an Armored Core-like with magic developed by the actual FromSoft themselves. And with translations, because people online have translated the games so that I can enjoy them in a language I understand. Then argument number 3 comes down to games that were outright canceled. Games like StarCraft Ghost and Project Hagar. These games were canned long before they ever released, and some of them never even got announced. But thanks to leakers on the internet from within the companies, we're now able to experience a lot of these games that were never meant to see the light of day. But you know, artists worked hard to design the graphics for those games, and programmers actually made them function, and so it only seems right to let people experience them, since they're so close to being done, or at the very least in a, demo-like state where we can have a little bit of joy with these unfinished products. Then my fourth argument for emulation would be that a lot of PC ports, like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, just aren't running on modern software anymore. Windows just keeps on updating, and so we can't really play these games anymore on modern Windows. You have to install a bunch of DLLs and mods, and here's a guide on how to set up GTA SA. Just look at all the things you need to install just to get the game running. This is unacceptable. And if I wanted to play the game with a controller, I have to install yet another mod. Rockstar's not gonna come back to this game and magically fix it, either. If anything, they'll just release an inferior version and call it fixed. And my fifth and final argument is gonna be that there are a lot of homebrew games coming out for emulation. And some of them are even getting released on actual cartridges if you want to plug them into a real system. While the original developers might have finished developing games for the NES, a lot of people at home are just figuring out how to do it. And so they're still making games for these old consoles. And emulation allows us to experience that. At any rate, guys, that's all I've got time for this week. Ciao for now, and Hexi out. Thanks go out to my Patreon supporters. Your donations mean the world to me, and I thank you for supporting my future endeavors.